What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, and we're going to be doing a little experiment this morning. We're going to be doing a watch party, so we're going to be watching the second half of Ohio State, North Carolina. Now, before we get into anything, before I roll the intro, I just want to say that I'm not trying to stream this as its own thing. It's mainly a way to get onto a live so that I can interact with coaches, and if we have any other topics to discuss, I can try to use the film that I have to discuss those. But if we use any film that is from something that would be monetized, right, they're just going to take it anyway. So there's a lot of the highlight videos, right, and those obviously take that. So this should serve to be kind of like that in a sense of hopefully whoever, would be making money off of this video. I don't care about monetizing this. I care about just getting on and making sure we're having conversations as coaches. But so that's what we're going to do. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I will get to the questions more so than just watching the game. But so as we go through it, I'll just do my commentary. If you have any games that you would like to have broken down of like a youth team that you run or a specific one that you would have permission having me watch an overview that would benefit all of the coaches, that would be amazing. So we may do that in another one. But so for the most part, this is going to be this kind of experiment, and let's get into it. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Once again, if you have any questions, let me know. So, oh, that is the wrong one. We're going to go here. Perfect. No branding. No branding. We're just watching a video. So, we're just going to roll this. The reason I picked this game was because I was curious on how Ohio State ended up throttling North Carolina. And so we're basically just going to watch this game and kind of see where it goes. But so, yeah, once again, if you have any questions, let me know. Nice little push there on the face-off. And so I think the kind of idea on the overview is going to be something in terms of just having little bits of commentary on things, right? So Carolina is obviously subbing through the midline. A lot of teams either run it or don't. It takes a lot of time to put that in, especially with players who aren't used to the idea of having that three-man sub. I do believe a video I have of that is the end of the 2-3-2 clear video. I think there's an individual video titled Subbing Through the Midline as well. So nice little razor pick. Razor picks are picks where the attackman or someone is running east-west, kind of near the goal line. And so essentially you think of it as a razor cutting, the way I think it is through paper, where the defenseman has to go over or under. It also helps to use the goal as another obstacle for the defenseman to get around. Now we're into our settled clear. Ohio State's clearing with 3 players low. UNC looks to be in a 3-3 zone ride. Now we should be getting the alpha on this opposite side. Pass the ball over. Little dink pass right here, up and over. Ohio State's out. Drops the ball because of the sun. Turnover. Now UNC's got it coming up the other way. Nice play in transition. Definitely how we want to play if we're going to generate turnovers. Shot goes wide. Ball goes out on the end line. So now it'll be interesting to see what UNC runs off of an end line. I don't know if many teams use real end line plays. I'm sure some do at the collegiate level. But one thing I've been noticing a lot with our guys is that the ability to have a offense that can just kind of flow, where guys have a forward outlet, a backward outlet, and they basically just play through motions, is definitely the most important thing to put into a into a team. Nice ground ball in the corner by Chris Gray. I got to shout out Malik. He just played against Chris Gray. That's the tough assignment. He plays for Denver. Nice little backhand by Chris Gray. New shot clock. I'm curious, how many of you are playing with shot clock rules? Because we don't play with shot clock rules, so we end up having to keep it in, and you can't stall and things like that. Nice little dodge at X. Pass to the wing. Pass inside goes wide. Now Ohio State's going to clear again. Let's see if they do find this alpha look again. We'll see. So Ohio State will go 3 low again. One thing that drives me nuts in the high school game is when our middies try to pick it up here. Because against really good teams who ride well, a middie's just going to get doubled upfield. So you see, we can stop it for a second. So here's the thing. Just to understand, this is a good show of dragons versus the alpha. So the last time Ohio State cleared, this player was wide open, right? It was super easy up and out because they passed the ball to this pole. He kind of carried up. This player stepped over the midline, and then it was just an easy up and out. I want to say this attackman was back here. Now, as you watch this clear, as they come from the left side of the field to the right side of the field, this player is going to have to shift over to cover on the other side. And what that's going to do is it's going to create space for the players who are over the midline here. So as they push the other side, they're going to step somebody over here. And that's this player coming on is what makes this player consider having to bump, this player consider having to bump, and this player consider having to get over. Because once this player overloads the side, that's how they're going to get over. So nice little clear strategy idea there. Once again, if you are watching, definitely let me know if you have any questions about any subjects. We don't have to watch this game. We can watch any other thing. Once again, this is basically a way to get onto a live where people may just enjoy watching the game. We've got Ohio State setting up. Nice little 2-man action here. Pass down to X. Another 2-man action should be coming. Nope. Pass to the opposite wing. Nice shot. Goes out of bounds. Now they're off an end line. But so if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll try to kind of see if I can do some strategy stuff. Drew. Ooh, nice pass. Coffee got my throat a little bit worse today. Oh, nice play. Nice save. Okay, so let's try and break that little one down. So, one thing. Players who understand the idea of how to manipulate shorties is awesome. How do you play in space? Where are you going to dodge to? This is most likely a Canadian player. I don't know actually who it is, but that nice little face dodge to the one-handed carry and then the step back. Deemer calls that an answer move. Now, the other thing is, what's this player doing on the wing, right? He just basically drew the slide, or he mirrored to create the slide. Where does he come from? So he's the closest player, which means they're going to run their little 2-man. As his player decides he's going to be hot and goes, he just sits in space, follows the slide, catch, great little play. Nice save by Krieg. I've got the UVA North Carolina game on another thing right now too, because I wasn't able to watch it because I had practice last night, but that was good. I'm excited to watch it next time. Or not next time, just a little bit later. All right, ball's on the offensive end for UNC. Now UNC is going to sub. Set up their offense. Another player subbing again. So one thing in terms of getting to the offensive end with not having the shot clock rules, it's just different, having to get a touch, then pull it out. Is there any ways you guys like to stall so you guys can get your subs on? Chris Gray dodging from X. Nice little jump shot, saved. Now they're up and out early. All right, I want to see who that was. So one thing to train goalies on is if there's a shot, you kind of look back towards where the shot came from, because a lot of times that player will be the player who would be now riding is looking at the goal. But so this player actually just sneaks out. He was defending the player at X. But a nice little up and out early. Don't even have to use clear strategy because you're up and out early. Pass forward, transition. Trailer look goes awry. Now it goes back to the midline. Getting through all the subs. Now Ohio State's going to try to attack. How many of you coaches wholesale sub from offense to defense. I know that's something Denver does quite a bit. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure the majority of teams actually wholesale sub basically everyone from offense to defense. But I'm curious how many people let their offensive midfielders go play defense in an attempt to like ride well. Because a lot of guys, you obviously can't sub really a lot while you're clearing because then you don't have any players to clear. Another two-man game with Amir. Creates a step down. Goes wide, and now we've got an end line play. So it looks like Ohio State's using their two-man game ideas again. And, I mean, it's a great strategy. It spaces you out well. Nice play. Okay, so now we just had a dodge from X to the left side. Let's see. It looks like we have three cutters. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I'd classify him as a cutter. I think he's a mirror to X. And now as he gets above GLE, nice little shot, bounce shot right through the 5-hole, it looked like. We'll see. Hope if they have play it from another angle. I really love that shot coming up from GLE. Just the just jamming it 5-hole right as you get over GLE. This is another really awesome skill, too, is just being able to shoot with your stick, just with someone's stick right in your hands, right? And so defensively, offensively, the key is if anyone ever has one hand on their stick, they have no power with their stick, right? The only way that they generate power is if they kind of can opener and get in between your arms. But so just the ability to shoot through sticks and through people is a huge thing to build with players, and you can build it in shooting drills, you can build it in, obviously one-on-ones, but, just making sure players understand the idea of being able to shoot through sticks. Face off, Ohio State wins it, goes back through to X. Now they're just subbing everybody in and out. Speed this up a bit. All right, now let's see how Ohio State's going to attack again. I'm betting it's going to be in that pairs set. So they should have someone mirroring. So pair should be here. Pair should be here. I love this player's vision because he is looking away from the ball. And he's basically like, hey, I'm going to pick this guy. This player probably knows it. And he's probably going to fade, or maybe he'll cut over the top. But you see how their two-man ideas allow them to create just different motions in different spaces. Dodge down the wing. Pass 2X. Nice play. Okay, let's break that down. So, first, when we start this motion, I don't know if these players are running as a group of 3. They might be. Right, that's what you have in box all the time, right? Is you've got 3 on one side, 2 on the other, and that's how you're going to play it out. Now, as they create their motion and he draws from the player at X, now you have an immediate 1. And now if this player just sits here, UNC is able to rematch up. But the fact that he presses the side, even though he does it slowly, the fact that he gets dangerous draws the next slide, which creates the player who's wide open in the middle of the field. And that spacing of like, you draw a slide, you bang the ball to the backside. As the defense is recovering and bumping through, you create all those spots of space. Like, I think players have a really good understanding, can have a very good understanding of the idea of, if I draw a man from the crease, that player is going to be open. But if I draw from the crease and then bang it to the backside, how they're bumped through creates the same kind of idea as they're recovering. That's something that takes a little more just skill and playtime, I guess. Ohio State wins it in transition, and now I don't know if this is the face-off guy or not. It might have been. Let's see. 38, I think. Okay, so they try to double. UNC tries to double. I think it might have been the wing. I'm not sure. I didn't even watch again. And so this would be a green. This is what we call green, which is just, it's a one-on-one in space. Now, if this is the face-off midfielder, you'd go on that every day. Nice shot, beats Krieg low. All right, now we got some ads. There we are. We're going to run this. All right, UNC's on offense now. The sun here must have been just brutal. It's funny. I know that all tennis courts are supposed to be set up so that they go north-south, so that no one, as the sun is setting or rising, there's no one who's like blinded by it. All right, looks like Ohio State went into a zone, and they, oh no, they're man up, so never mind. Okay, so let's see. I didn't even catch the foul. Let's watch UNC's man up then. All right. So it looks like Ohio State's going into a box and one or four-man look. So they might be rotating 4 poles around the singular player inside. Nice little flip. And now, so you've got, the way I would think about this is you've got player on ball, player left who's doing the skip lanes, player right who is defending the player at X as well as trying to cover skip lanes, player who's defending the player inside, and this player who's splitting 2, which now, as he pump fakes up, draws him over, which creates the lane to feed it through. So I hope they show his fake, because the fake that draws that defenseman up is just huge. If you have your hands free, the ability to move defensemen with your head, yeah, exactly. Check that out. That was sweet. Okay. So what we're talking about, hopefully it's there. As he throws, as Chris Gray comes in, throws this fake this way, there's a defenseman on this backside that rotates up thinking that the ball is going to come 1 and then 2. And as he does that, the backside player gives up space on the backside and he just feeds it right through to a nice goal. That was sick. Fake, and then drives it right through. Once again, if you have any questions and want something that you are maybe working on outlined, I might have video on it, so let me know if you guys want to do that. This is basically just a way to get into kind of a live scenario thing where you guys can ask questions, you can do anything and everything like that. We'll kind of see how it goes. I kind of consider this a lot like the just highlight videos that would take this game and chop it up into just the goals. There's no way it'll be monetized. I think it's Veritone is the one who will take it, and they'll get all of the monetization from it, but not really my purpose. I'd rather just be able to talk about it from the perspective of to use the film to talk about it from a coaching perspective works. I liked that sweep. So this is something that I really think works well. So I was at the IMLCA convention, and let's talk about the idea of this defenseman here and the fact that he is shading to the middle. So here's the idea here. If you push him to the middle and he gets to the middle, top center, now this player has 2 passes to the pipes for either side, but you don't have 4 passes. So once he gets to the middle of the field, and we can pause it here, right? If this player slides, you're obviously throwing forward to a dodge. If this player inside slides, hopefully he mirrors out. But now you only have 1, 2 passes really to attack that side. You could do 4 or you could do 3 passes, but you'd be really tight on that side if that was how you wanted to play it. Now, the idea of pushing them to the middle and creating that 3-on-2 for each side is conceptually better than having them go down the alley, because if you go down the alley and you draw, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 easy passes to draw and dump in order to attack the defense. So the idea of being able to push to the middle, even though you are giving the dodger a better, shooting angle, it can be, I guess, easier to play the 2 passes from the side than it would be the 4 passes around the side as well. Nice little curl from X. Shoots it. Good save by Krieg. That time, the 5-hole shot did not fool him. All right, ball swings up top and back to the side. Looks like we're going to have a razor pick for Ohio State now. Easy switch because they're both poles. Good swing to the backside to an alley dodge. Skip through to a step down. That was sick. Okay, couple things here. First, what starts this play that I really, really like is that the dodger coming off of the razor pick gets up to about 12 yards, right? So instead of just, growing up, I always heard 5 and 5, right? Or 7 and 7. He gets way up the side of the field, which means that everyone's allowing him to have space to dodge. They're not overcrowding him to stay in their positions, right? Like, the ability to just play is contingent on the idea of giving the ball carrier the ability to play. Now, he does a double rollback here, which is great because he actually draws a slide. So now we have numbers. He acknowledges the slide, the 2-on-1 early, and moves the ball. As it moves, 1, 2, we're immediately into another dodge coming down the alley. There's no waiting, so that UNC is switching, is bumping through and has to slide. Right, so they get an early slide again. He steps away, frees his hands, and now he can look through to the backside 2-on-1 where we have this player defending the crease, this player defending the throwback, this player isolated with 2, and because he steps around and away, has time to look through the defense, skips it through to a nice step down. Beautiful lacrosse. Definitely a great play. Now, the thing about watching this is when you look at, I don't know how many, obviously players should be taught to watch individual players because they've got to find the technique of those individual players, but just the ability for him to acknowledge the slide, step away, free his hands, and look is something that, it's just a great skill to have. Not to feel so rushed once you do draw a slide, but to acknowledge that you've got to do something with the ball to give your teammates the ability to score. Nice shot, Colby Smith. All right, coming back in. Now we've got subs for UNC. Dodge from top center. Flip to, looks like Gray coming up over. Now, something we can watch. Now, it looks like he's going to try to sub. But so, I'm not sure if this is the face-off guy, but they're playing 5-on-5 with the face-off guys in the corner here. Now, it looks like he saw the shot go. Wow, that was a crazy shot by Chris Gray. Interesting. So what I kind of notice here is, I don't know if this defenseman, who is I think the face-off midfielder, is trained to know that, hey, if they're just going to shoot the ball to sub, because the ball's not even gone yet, right? And he's trying to haul out. Now, if Chris Gray doesn't shoot this, they then have numbers for that little bit as he's trying to sub, but that was just a great shot. Yeah, that's just filthy. I want to try that stick, the Hyper Power. I've got the Ultra Power, which is more curved upward. People didn't seem to like it because it was too far, but with the armor mesh that doesn't have like any whip to it, it's actually quite nice. It's cool to see all of the players that are getting sponsorships and things. It's definitely a fun thing for them now to be able to do that. Do a little move in space. Coming up off the end line for Ohio State. Let's go back a bit. There we go. Drew a quick slide. Back to the right wing. Top center. Top left. Dodge. Okay, I want to talk about this really quick. So, as you're playing with different players, right, and you're teaching decision making from an off-ball perspective, one of the things to acknowledge is hands, right? Hands and where people like to be. So this player is left-handed, right? You can see clearly. Now, as this player dodges and sweeps across the top, that creates a very easy decision for this lefty who's a player, right? So his ability to create space is going to be, I've got to go to the middle or I've got to go to the outside. So that's a clear through for me, and then a fade or a drip for me. Now, one of the things that's going to make this decision easy is who this player is on the opposite side. Because this player is a righty, we would way rather have him get through and maybe under to his left natural side rather than fading and pushing the righty through, because the righty is going to have a better shooting angle from that side. For sure. So we've got a breakdown team defense stuff. Program has like 7 new deep holes. We need some help getting them up to speed. Sure. So let's talk about this from the defensive side. So I'm not sure it's going to be the greatest thing because I know Ohio State starts to torch UNC here. But so, yeah. So the first thing, let's go back to actually, we'll just continue to play it. So from the defensive side, good approach, sticks out in front. As he dodges, kind of had a show from there. Now we get to the shorty matchup. It's going to be it looks like a pick here. So within the two-man game, you're looking to obviously free yourself if you're the dodger, and then free your teammate if you're the off-ball player. But so as they decide to slide here, I would almost just call this a crease slide versus a switch, because obviously this player is not going to have the ability to get back like as they would have if, evaluating the two-man, it's almost better to just acknowledge the slide and be prepared to rotate than it is to not do that, right? So now, as he slides, now we have to know where we're going to rotate from. So when you look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players against 1, 2, 3, and we have to make sure we are playing these players fast enough to not allow them to shoot so that this player who was originally on ball can get back. Now, he just takes a shot, but that's the conceptual idea. Now, it doesn't really matter how many players are in that rotation. Like, it doesn't have to be everyone. It just has to be enough players to make it so that they don't actually bump through and get back to it. Another one. So we got another question. Why did they double the shooter? So let's go back just a bit. So carry up, throw back. Oh, here we go. It really kind of depends on who this player is, right? So if he is a offensive midfielder, if this player is just someone who they know and they have scouted of whether or not they want to slide to it early, I don't know that the read was here to double early, but the appearance of the pick, maybe it was kind of a mistake from this player, but this player is looking like he's going to slide anyway. I think it was just his decision to slide. Might have not been warranted, but didn't really end up in anything bad. But I'll go a little bit into that as we move through. So in the moment of those decisions, like here's one thing that I noticed, and this is something that can be very true, is I rarely give like blame or decision making ideas during the game unless it's like a blatant mistake, because so often you'll think that an issue happened because of a certain player, and then you go back and you watch the film and it was a completely different player. Like in real time, you don't even know what's really happening until you go back to watch the film. Another razor pick scenario. So I keep doing that. I got to make sure that I'm on the film in order to adjust the film. So let's watch and see kind of what broke down. I wasn't even watching the play here. So we've got a razor pick scenario, which is our east-west pick coming through. Now, as this happens, it looks like, I guess they really didn't mind if it was switched. Okay, good shot through. Okay. So, first off, this offensive player puts the defense in a bit of a hang-up situation. So as this player comes between, kind of like right in line with the offensive player, you create this line right here. Now what that does is it kind of hangs up players on both sides. So as this player comes to play it, now he rolls back because the defensive player has to make a decision, right? Is he going to have to get out around this and get around? Now, as the offensive player hits and rolls back, it looks like he kind of over-pursued, which is what frees him up coming up the side. Now, as that happens, no slide is really ready, but this player is completely kind of watching his man and the action behind and just didn't have that player on the cut, but that's not when the feed happened. So now as he comes up the wing, he's isolated. There's no one getting into hands because it's a shorty. Now, this is something that Jack would really like. As he is sliding, or even Casey, sliding down, you get a nice little slide here. Now, with no two, it's just an easy feed inside to a shot. Now, you know, skill levels being as high as they are, that's not a lot of space. You got to be very accurate to feed that inside and then go. But we should have at least a 2 here. So let's redo that. Let's come back. What we would have liked to have had happen is if this player was going to go, he would have to go a lot faster. And we would want either this defenseman or this defenseman to be in on the crease player. And then the opposite one would be splitting the 2 backside. Now, when you take it back, this is why I think defense is so much harder than offense was. Because offense is scripted. You know what's going to happen. Defense, you have to just read and react to everything. And so as the players are moving backside, as we have the razor pick and they come up the side, and we have guys who are scissor cutting inside, once you get to this spot, reattributing who is hot, who's the 2, who's the split, that's what creates a lot of hard decision making. Now, one thing that I've been doing recently, based on Coach Bachlet's presentation at IMLCA, is deciding on a split. So basically, you've got your 1 slide, your 2 slide, and then a split player who will split both. And so it works really well at X because you then don't have to have 2 2s. You've got 1 2 and then a split player who knows that if the ball is skipped through, he's playing the 2 backside. All right, let's move right along. We're going to have to wrap this up. Once again, let me know what you guys thought of this presentation. I'd like to do this kind of weekly, and if you have a film that you'd like me to break down, kind of to go over, I'd like to not use these because, I mean, it kind of is what it is. The monetization is going to go to them anyway, so I'm not worried about it in that instance. But I'd like to know what you guys think. If there's any topics that you have, definitely put them in the chat, and we can get to them in the next couple that we do. And just let me know if you guys enjoy the format and kind of what we're talking about and going over. So I think we're going to watch one more possession to a goal, and then we'll wrap it up for today. And thanks you guys for joining. If you haven't subscribed or liked yet, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll keep going. So nice little face-off. Subbing to get everybody on now. It's interesting how many teams don't pursue in the sub game because they're just waiting to get into 6-on-6. That seems to be kind of the usual. So we're swinging. I love this. This player right here in the middle, he's my favorite right now because as he comes through, right, look at him point. That's our matchup. He's our scrub. He's who we want to dodge on. And they just start their offense. Looks like they're going to razor pick again. We'll kind of see. Nope, they're just going to invert. Spacing looked good. Feed it through. Oh, got a double, got a slide, move it. 1, 2. Not enough space to find anything meaningful. Now they're in their 2-man. Sweep over the top, shot, save, nice garbage goal. That was beautiful. Okay, so we're going to cover this relatively quickly, but I want to show kind of the spacing ideals from an offensive perspective, then we'll talk about how it makes it very difficult from the defensive perspective. So as he comes through and he begins his dodge, before this player came up and he set a pick here. Now that creates your big little mismatch scenarios. You can look at my entire 2-man series about dividing up all of that. But instead of doing that now, he stays wide. And so as he fades up this wing, if this player slides coma, so coma means come across the crease, he's going to end up wide open on this back wing. So now we have to make sure we're going to be sliding from here. So this looks like they're in kind of that, what Virginia, I did a breakdown of the Virginia 2-2-2. It should be basically a cut, and then you have 2 shooters who are going to be top center. Now, don't know who's going to slide, but I love the idea of isolating the backside defenseman in an area where he can't really do anything because this player is going to be wide open coming up the hash. Good rollback on the dodge. Ball is fed through. Let's see if they had that split idea covered this time. So now he's spidered down a lot as this player comes away. This player is kind of just playing inside. I don't really think that's too much of a difference in terms of isolating a split player. Now, one thing that I like about this play, which it didn't work out really well for him, but anytime a defenseman is like on the backside of an offensive player, if you can time it to get there as his head is turned, that can create great doubles. Now, didn't actually work out. They recover nicely. Let's go back to that for a second. So now, as this double happens, the offensive player is trying to move the ball to find an attack of 5-on-4, which is backside. Now, as that happens, they're going to try to recover. Now, from here, oftentimes you'll tell the original on-ball player to recover, which is what actually happens, and they match up nicely. Now, this is not always how it's going to happen, but there is some good rules here. First off, if you're ever recovering, you go inside first, then you go away from where the ball is passed. If the ball is thrown back here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this player will come to here on the rotation. But because it was thrown forward, the only thing that happens is this player has to U-turn, getting back to the middle and then back out to his guy. And so now they're just going to continue playing this out. Now they find their 2-man. I think this is the shot, the save, and the garbage goal. Nice. Yeah, excellent play. But so that's going to wrap up our kind of watch party and overview. Once again, if you have a film, maybe it's from a previous year that you'd like to have broken down, I'd love to do some like high school or even youth film. I think that would be very beneficial to a lot of the coaches that watch this content. It will also keep this from getting demonetized or taken down. I don't think it will, because I know that there's also a Ohio State versus UNC video where they just took all the goals, but who cares about highlights, man? We want to know how to coach, how to make sure players are getting better, how to be confident in knowing what things are happening. And in this state, we can see all of these situations a lot more efficiently because we have the ability to kind of watch the film and do it. But so if you have a film that you like broken down, I'd love to do some other film. And then I hope you guys are having a fun season. I don't know if you guys have started yet. Make sure to leave any comments in the comment section about what you'd like to see. And yeah, I think having some film from like every age group would be totally awesome, which maybe I could find those on YouTube and kind of put them into the system, because I think that'd be cool too. But so hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. Make sure to hit up POWLAX on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of those. Check out POWLAX.com for a lot of strategy overviews. Definitely check out that new to lacrosse video. That's definitely my probably most popular video. Send it to everybody you know who's brand new to the sport. Get them set it off on the right track. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video.